of you been enjoying your DrupalGov today so far? Very good. Bit of a change of pace now. I'm not going to talk about government. I'm not going to talk about technology. I'm going to talk about people. Because from my perspective, the real power of Drupal is the community. And the community is made up of people. I'm actually really enjoying the fact that I can, like, sitting right in front of me is John Alban, who is kind of epitomises some sense of community to me at the moment, because he's come from a very long way. He's very much involved in the Drupal community, as am I, and it's just awesome to, you know, have these kinds of friendships and relationships with people all around the world who build this thing that we all use on a daily basis, well, mostly on a daily basis. So this is the thing, is the real community, the real power of Drupal 8 is the community. It's made up of a whole bunch of open source technologies. Drupal relies on a whole bunch of open source technologies, I'm saying, and it in itself is a very strong open source community, but it is just a part of a broader community, and it really is just people, just vast numbers of people doing this work. We talk about it as technology, but really, ultimately, Drupal is just another web technology. It's not fundamentally different from other web technologies. It does similar things. It might do them in different ways, might be more elegant or whatever, but it fundamentally does things like put some stuff that you might want to look at or read or hear on the web so that it can be accessed. And a lot of other things do that, but it is the community that really sets it apart. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the community. And in terms of contributing to open source and contributing to Drupal, that's what I do. I wear a few different hats, and one of them is I'm the chair of the community working group. And we get to talk about the issues in the community that are non-technical, that are people-focused. They're about resolving the kinds of day-to-day issues that happen when people work together, and sometimes can't resolve those issues. But fundamentally, when we're working together best, we work together and we have a huge amount of fun, and we come together in events all over the world. And I've just taken a few grabs of some of the group shots of which you all participated in today. This is a bit of a Drupal kind of ritual, I guess, is that we have this kind of crazy group photograph. And you've got one of the really early ones in the bottom. I think that was in Europe somewhere, I can't remember, maybe Belgium. This was Melbourne a couple of years ago, Sydney DrupalCon. The Drupal Chicks convened in San Francisco. I actually can't remember what that one was now, but you know, lots of people, everywhere. Everywhere. It's truly global. We have these training days run by the Drupal Association, and organisations like agencies and meet-up groups organise free or cheap training to kind of help other people learn about Drupal. And it's people who put these on. It's not these kind of, you know, faceless, nameless entities. It's human beings coming together to share what they know. We also go a little bit beyond events and learning and stuff, and we have things like Drupal cakes, and Drupal soup, and Drupal bacon? I don't know, but it's a thing, really.
That is disgusting. That looks awesome.
Yeah. One person's awesome, another person's disgusting. I'm a bit confused. Drupal tattoos, Drupal babies. Because ultimately, you know, a community brings people together. Sometimes this happens. But when we come together, it's things like we're doing right now, or we're doing today, coming together at an event. And DrupalCal is a website put together by some guys in, I think, Austria. No, do you know? I don't know. Anyway, DrupalCal. And they kind of have scraped information a lot from Drupal.org. And they've done this beautiful map-based visual representation of events all over the world. And unfortunately, I didn't think to take a new screen grab which kind of had us today on that. You know, it's kind of cool. But DrupalCal, and it sort of shows meetups, you know, the monthly meetups. It shows DrupalCons, our big international event. It shows camps and trainings and sprints and all those kinds of things. We're here in Canberra, and the Drupal ACT group meets monthly, and so they have info on Drupal groups or Drupal.org, but also on meetup.com. You know, this is people coming together to share what they know to continue to build Drupal. It happens everywhere. And it's so that there's just so much depth and creativity in these events. I mean, I've just kind of done a grab bag off Google Images to sort of, find some camp logos. And, there's just this kind of variety there, and it sort of represents the diversity. You've got the Philippines, we've got, I think Manchester was the B, Colorado, Ghent, Bratislava. I don't even know where Bratislava is. Yeah. Slovakia, there you go. A couple of years ago, DrupalCon came to Australia. We had DrupalCon Sydney. Well, actually, not a couple of years ago. A year ago. It was last year. Right now, this was a year ago, over at the ANU. Drupal South Wellington. We all trekked across the pond and had great coffee in Wellington. It's cold. Next up is Amsterdam. Bogota. And I'm kind of excited about Melbourne. Melbourne 2015, .drupal.org.au, Drupal South, Melbourne, March. Just, you're coming, right? Good job here is done. But all of this coming together doesn't make this any different. Drupal has a notoriously treacherous, I think is probably the word, learning curve. It's really easy to drop off, but the minute you feel like you're falling, there is a net, and there's actually people who will throw you a rope and drag you back up and help you. And again, people like, I'm sitting here with Pam and John in the front row, and Nod, I've had some great conversations with them, and it's like half of the people in this room I know in some way or another. I mean, I met Peter over there at, is Peter? Yes, at Scrum training, right? We build connections with each other. This is how the Drupal project moves forward. I have an issue with a Drupal site I'm building, and I can get on IRC and ping someone and say, hey, I'm really stuck, and my Google foo is failing me. And they go, but maybe you should try thinking about it this way. And the light goes on. And I do a different search, and I find community contributed information about it. But again, it's not like there's this free software and this free training material out there. It's the people who are helping me make those connections. It's the people who's written that stuff to help us with this treacherous learning curve. And there are other more formal ways of learning, of getting over that hump, and importantly, letting other people know that these learning materials exist. Drupalize Me, build a module. These are video tutorials. They've got extensive transcripts with them, and they're very systematic. And for some people, this is a really great way of learning. But it's not the best way for everyone. Other people prefer to watch, have videos of like talks like we've had, and there's a bunch of those up thanks to the Drupal Association. Or books. There's nothing beats actually sometimes just having a book and being able to kind of flick through the pages, and it's a different way of learning. So some great books out there. And podcasts. But one of the most real-time, one of the great ways of really staying in touch with what's going on in the Drupal community, on who's learning what, who's testing out new modules, who's got new ideas around, is Planet Drupal. Every day there are blog posts from people all over the world sharing what they know, exploring new ideas, going, hey, I don't know what's going on with this, I tried this, what have you. Planet.Drupal is drupal.org/planet, really good place to go. What this really boils down to is what makes a difference is when you step up from just using all this stuff, from just knowing it's there, to finding out how you can participate. And you can. Even I can. I'm not a coder. This is the thing I hear most often is, oh, I can't possibly participate in Drupal because I can't code. Well, that's not true. Like Emma's standing up at the back of the room, and she's participating in the Drupal community by being a volunteer at an event like this. Helping organise events is one way. Helping with documentation, running training, obviously writing code, obviously testing and reviewing code. Also, testing, doing a simple thing like a manual test of a bug that someone's put, like confirm that bug, supply a screenshot. And this is something that you can encourage other people to do, just to make a step, to go that next little inch further in their journey, in their open source, in their Drupal community journey. Say, just do something which contributes back. Because every little piece we do has saved someone else and added to the whole. Participate. One of the key ways of doing it, and I acknowledge that this is actually a real barrier for some people, IRC is a huge hub of the community. We talk on IRC all the time. Does anyone here not know what IRC is? Anyone does know what IRC is? I'm just checking, see if okay, very good. It's like, provide some internet relay chat. If you can help someone who's not familiar with IRC understand that IRC exists, understand that there are Drupal channels there, then you're helping them engage, participate and become part of the community. You're helping them connect with the other people who make Drupal happen. I'm just not sure why I've got the slide here now, hang on. Oh, Drupal.org customizations, right. So one of the ways of participating is not necessarily working on the code itself. I mean, a bit like helping out at an event, it's kind of like a sideline. It's helping the infrastructure of Drupal itself. So Drupal.org is where we actually run the project, and it has a little army of webmasters who go around and make sure that, you know, spam reports get attended to and that project applications get reviewed. And there's this kind of little army of people doing stuff who get very, very little glory for the time and effort they put in, helping us do what we do on a daily basis. And there's, you know, then there's another kind of group of people who are trying to make Drupal.org itself better in various ways. And so there are customizations and issues and the Drupal.org issue queue. It gets a bit meta. It's not Drupal, it's the thing that makes Drupal. So, but it's an area where, you know, every little bit counts, and when we can get a little bit of assistance with these kinds of things, it also drives the project forward and helps us all connect more and do what we do. Drupal, does everyone here know groups? Nodding? No? Anyone know? No, so I'm not going to go on it. This happens to be highlighting a post, Shared Values in the Drupal Community, which came out of some of the work that I was doing with the Community Working Group, that we really wanted to address the way we kind of interact with each other at our events, and unfortunately we had some incidences at DrupalCon in Austin. We have a code of conduct, and how we respond to that code of conduct as a community, how we uphold it, is some of the work that we do at the Community Working Group, and so that post was about that. As a result of that, there wasn't actually anyone kind of complaining or railing against the post. There were a few suggestions on how we could make our incident reporting form better. I thought, that kind of rocks. Thank you. And finally, the Drupal Association. Who's aware of the Drupal Association? Just about everybody. I should just sit down. Let's just have a chat. So, part of what I do is I sit on the board. I actually missed the board meeting this week because I was here, and time zones and it all just got a little bit much. But the Drupal Association runs our global events and pretty much keeps the lights on Drupal.org. This was the mission statement until fairly recently. The Drupal Association fosters and supports the Drupal software project, the community and its growth. And I like to think about the things it does in two kind of main groups. Oh, hang on, I skipped. Okay, get up to that. Okay, so what does foster mean?
Here.
No, John.
Sorry.
It does not mean here. It means to grow. It really means to nurture, cherish, and to help something grow. And the DA does this, and this is what I'm going to say, it kind of divides into two main groups. There's the boring but important work, and then there's the real kind of heart of the work that it does. And I say the boring but important stuff is, you know, the GPL, managing the servers, and you know, doing the legal stuff. But the real heart is in the promotion of Drupal, in building events, and in supporting the community. So, you know, yeah, okay, it's GPL, we all take that for granted. Well, maybe we don't take it for granted. Maybe it's so deeply embedded in, you know, our understanding of Drupal that this free and open source software is there for us. But yeah, boring but important? Yes? Yes. Protecting the Drupal project and community through legal work and advocacy. Boring but important? Maintaining the hardware and software and infrastructure that runs Drupal.org. I mean, this is absolutely critical. Most of the time we probably don't even notice that it's going on, but hey, the minute Drupal.org is down, do we know about it? Boring, but very, very important.
CBS does Drupal recording.
Old. maybe I'll update that slide. Then there's organising and promoting worldwide events. Also this slide also needs updating because it's got Denver, London, and Munich on it, and we've been a long way since then. As I showed you before, the ones that are coming up, but we just had DrupalCon Austin, and before that Prague, and these are global events, and this is kind of a bit of a hat switch now that they're a long way away and they're very expensive for most of us to try and get to. So local events like DrupalGov and Drupal South are just absolutely critical because we've got to build our own networks, our own local networks and local knowledge and understanding. And bringing people, bringing a couple of people from overseas here makes a lot more sense than sending all of us over there. So thank you, John and Jan and the others who've come from a long way. I think that really helps. And communicating the benefits of the Drupal software. Surprisingly, this was apparently one of the most controversial elements when they were devising this mission statement some time ago. But the thought about marketing Drupal was quite abhorrent to some people, and that the Drupal Association should spend no effort and energy in promoting Drupal at all. That apparently has changed since then now, and that it's now very much a part of what the Drupal Association wants to do, and it's very much behind an initiative to explain and talk about what's coming with Drupal 8 in particular, but Drupal in general. And they've got some nice videos and stuff now. And then finally, the bit that really is real hard is empowering the Drupal community to participate and contribute to the project. And how do we do this? And who here has participated in, say, a sprint, Drupal sprint of some kind? Somewhere between a third and a half of you. The rest of you, do you think you might? Yeah, some nods, yeah, could possibly. Drupal South in Melbourne, there'll definitely be one there.
We're going to have a camp in Sydney, November 1st and 2nd.
There's going to be a camp in Sydney, November 1st and 2nd. I mean, this Drupal event is a bit unusual because there isn't actually any sprinting at this one. And maybe we should think about that for next year. There should be some kind of contributory bit of it. But, sorry?
I asked on Twitter.
You asked on Twitter?
Yeah.
We had a sprint last year,
Yeah.
and only previous next people showed up.
Oh, alright. Well, moving right along. Maybe not, then. Maybe the audience isn't quite there yet. It is great. I mean, it's a bit confusing. Sometimes people say that the sprints are just for coders. Well, that's just not true. The first sprint I went to, I sat down and I worked on documentation, and that's really easy. There is no barrier to entry there. You can log on to Drupal.org and change stuff. May not be a good thing. It might be a reason why our docs are a little random, but it's there and it's easy to do. And documentation is one of the things that is going to help people on that learning curve the most if we can start to get that right and engage in that process. So I said that was our mission statement. This is the new mission statement for the Drupal Association. Drupal powers the best of the web. And the Drupal Association unites a global open source community to build and promote Drupal. Yay for global. I can take a little bit of credit for getting that. Yes. Sometimes the Drupal Association is a little bit US centric. It's global, it's there, right? Let's be global. So Drupal powers the best of the web. And there was a little bit of, can we really say that? And I was like, hell, we can say that. Let's really think about what Drupal does power. It may not be the most open, the most websites, but think about the websites that are running Drupal. I mean, they're heavy hitters. There's some serious stuff out there. And not only is it powering the best of the web in terms of the websites that are built, but let me come back to my mantra. The best people in the web are working in Drupal. This is us, right? Drupal powers us. The mantra is come for the code, stay for the community. So I hope that, that kind of gives you this sense of people and keeping that in mind when you next think about working with Drupal, whether it's downloading, the next version of Drupal 8 or testing out some module or thinking about how you're going to put some site together or whether or not Drupal 8 is really ready. Really think about the people that have made this code available to you and how you might reach out to them. I like so preaching to the converted in here a little bit. It's like, you already all are, so, awesome to you. But how do we get this word out to the people that we're working with? Our colleagues who aren't here, our colleagues who we're building sites for. How do we get them to understand that it's actually the people that make this thing possible. And when they're railing against Drupal, this is something Jam said at Drupal South earlier this year, is next time you're kind of having Drupal rage, think about what you can do to make it better. I'm not going to read this out. You can read it for yourselves. If anyone has literacy problems and you do need me to read it out, or low vision, and you need me to read it out, then let me know. But Steve Parks is Managing Director of Wunderkraut in the UK, and Wunderkraut is an amalgamation of a bunch of European Drupal companies who come together to be the biggest European Drupal company. And they've been doing a lot of work in government. They put together a Drupal distribution for the Estonian government, so a bit like Previous Next has done with AGov for the Australian sector, Wunderkraut did for Estonia. But Estonia was like less than 2 million people or something. It's like a really tiny little country. But even they had, crazy inefficiencies because they had like 6 websites on, on a whole bunch of different technologies. But they've been able to use Drupal to get some more efficiency for their people, and have their own distro. And it's called Validsportal or something like that. I'm probably murdering the pronunciation. But I was really excited to hear that, and I'm sure that there are others. Like, obviously there's AGov, there's this Validsportal. Some agencies in the Netherlands have worked together to do a theme for Dutch government websites that meets all of their style guidelines. It's called the Rijkshuis Style theme. Does that murder that pronunciation too? Canada has the Web Experience Toolkit, which is focused on some of the accessibility issues and again targeting government. We heard a little bit this morning about data.gov.uk, and they've open sourced their platform. So government and Drupal and distributions, this is people coming together to solve common problems and sharing what they know. Like, we just heard Jam's keynote and he was saying all of these things. It all comes together, but ultimately, the connections that you make in events like this take this further. And I'm not sure what time is like. No one knows, it's random, okay. So, who saw Kim Pepper's talk on Drupal 8? Who's played with Drupal 8? Who hasn't played with Drupal 8? Who hasn't seen it at all? Who wants to? Half. All right, the rest of you just go home. All right. So Kim spoke in detail about some of the things that are coming, but just some of the sort of top level things, that it is mobile first. There's this multilingual, the multilingual stuff has just come so far that I think that's going to be a real game changer, especially for smaller languages, to be able to have stuff online in their own language. Built-in web services, accessibility, config management, better authoring and theming systems, in-place editing, views, fields, JavaScript libraries, HTML5, a whole bunch more. There's just a lot there. So what I've done is I've actually got a local version of Drupal 8 installed. So I'm going to do a live demo, so this could all fail horribly, but I thought I'd do a slide with some key points just in case it failed horribly. So let's just see how we go. Alright, now this is Drupal 8 out of the box. I'm logged in, and I've made one node, so that's all that's happened. I've not installed anything. I haven't really, haven't changed the theme or done anything. This is as it comes. I've obviously changed the title from Welcome to Drupal, whatever, to out of the box, and I've uploaded an image, which I've done all as it comes. Now, I clearly shouldn't have done that, because the first thing I want to show you is, thanks to John Alban and others, this, isn't that amazing? And not. This is like mobile responsive, just the time and effort that I know I've put some, But other people have put enormous gobloads of effort to make sites do that and do it retrospectively. That's pretty cool. So mobile out of the box. And there's not really enough menu items there to really see what it's doing, but you look at that little home tab and then it becomes a big touchy button for big fat fingers on mobile devices. And then on really little devices, you get menu and then more big fat buttons to easily target. This is great. Just magic. Well, maybe not magic, but close to magic. Now I can't grab that thing again, hang on. Doesn't want to. Come back to me. There we go. Right, cool. So the authoring experience, in-place editing. You'll see this little pencil up here. And I've enabled that. No, I didn't. Try that again.
You're very clicky.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go. Now I get this little pencil and I can enable quick edit. And now I can edit the title. And just save it right there. And the body content, the same. Go. Just in-place editing. Not figuring out where to go. No admin, it's just here. This is CK editor. Built-in, in-core. You know. Etc. And save. Oh, I have to save here. Oops. There we go. Done. WYSIWYG in core, in-place editing. Even the admin interface is mobile friendly. Well, not so much on here.
Sure. That's what it's supposed to do.
It's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
No, I'm not supposed to do that. But it does work really nicely on phone. You can actually quickly get in and make that typo change. So someone's tweeted at you that, oh no, you have an egregious typo on your homepage, and oh, you're out at dinner. It's all right, you can fix it on your mobile. Cool. What's the other main thing I wanted to show? Oh, well, there's views in core, but that's...
What about the back button?
The back button! many long arguments about the back button, right? That is pretty cool, though.
That was all you, right?
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice.
Explain what it does.
That it takes you back to the homepage, or takes you back to where you were,
It takes you back to where you were.
instead of the overlay.
Yes.
Yes.
It keeps your context.
It keeps your context and means you don't have to put up the overlay. Hands up, who was fans of the overlay? Absolutely.
I was a fan of
For a little
the
while.
concept.
Concept.
As a proposed solution to a problem, it's okay, but this is
Yeah.
much better.
This is much better. Yeah, I mean, that ability to keep your context if you're going into an admin page and going back to where you were just saves so much pointless. Oh my goodness, what was I doing? Where am I again? It's very easy to lose focus. Now, what other things should I show?
The content listing.
The content listing. I don't have any content yet though, so maybe I have to create some.
But now we can search the title.
Yeah, this is here.
That's a big
You
one.
can
Actually,
type something.
That's actually
Find the matching content.
that's actually really good to remind me of that, because I so often get this enabled after the fact, and it's like, here it is, just there in core. I can just totally go
Same for user.
this, and it's going to find my single piece of content, which is really exciting.
That's actually my patch, the title.
Yay! Cool. Very good.
Very simple, but yeah, it's still kind of fun.
Simple but
Very
powerful.
Very important.
Very important. Thank you so much. Well, I was going to did another demo, but I'm not going to do this now. I did another demo with this, and I basically created like 3 minutes of content and created a view. Because it's in core. It's just like, I just did that like within about 5 minutes in a demonstration like this. I made 3 nodes, I had images, I did a little thumbnail and the title, and I did a little view, and I put in a little block and a sidebar, and it's all just easy. So Drupal 8, you know, thanks to, so what's your name again? I've forgotten your name.
Sure.
Sean, committed patch, can see it on screen. Thank you. John Alvin, Mobile Initiative Lead, huge amount of work, thank you. Pam's been working on the tour module and a bunch of reviews and media and a whole bunch of stuff. Pam, thank you. Nod, JavaScript lead. King. Emperor. Thank you. Who else? Adam. I don't know what your Drupal contributions are, but I'm sure they're vast and many. Here and there. Well, thank you. And any of you others, if, you know, has anyone else contributed a patch or a review or a bug report yet? What was it?
Some of the comment stuff.
Comment stuff?
Commerce.
Commerce.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Thank you. See, people, it's you guys and girls and me and, you know, Emma, we make this happen by contributing, by caring, by reviewing, by, you know, even just giving a bit of kudos every now and again. You know, thank you so much. It's
I think
the people.
one of the huge contributions you can do is just like help organize stuff, because coders are not very good at like, let's all sit in one room, and, like they would starve to death if they were in charge of DrupalCon.
This is true.
Yes.
Organising things. This is the bit that I do. So I help organise things. But
It's huge. I mean, it wouldn't happen without somebody working on, because the coders just would not do it.
I would sit there and starve or never code because the lights would go out. Yes. So I'm kind of done, unless there's anything else that someone wants me to desperately demo in Drupal 8. No? So those of you who have not yet done any form of contribution, I hope I have planted a seed, and that next time I see you in March in Melbourne, yes, that you'll have a story to tell me about how you have contributed. Yes. All right. Yes, you can do that now.
How recent is this installation?
A few weeks.
Oh, okay. This is really cool new thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew I should have
You
downloaded it
don't
last
need to
night.
know the path of a page in order to make a menu.